activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prem. So once again, welcome to today's call and thank you very much for joining us. Moving on to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. I would let all the devotees on the call to please go ahead with your introductions now.
Hare Krishna Mataji,
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Pritidasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Priti Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvind Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Ram.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devidasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna Indulekha Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna Yashamati Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Do we have any more introductions before we start the class?
Shall we start recording, Mataji, or it's a little early? It's 6:15.
That's what I'm thinking, Mataji. This is really early. Anyone else wants to introduce themselves? We still have time.
Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare.
Who has joined the call, Mataji?
Thank you, Mataji. Who's reading the introduction today?
Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Hare
Mataji, we can skip it, Mataji. I think nobody signed up.
Ram.
Do you want me to read?
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. We're extremely fortunate to have His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji here with us today. And Prabhuji would be enlightening us by discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, verse 53 to 55. But before we dive into this nectarine class, would like to share a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji came in contact with ISKCON in the year of 2005. He has done his MBA in HR from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Pune, one of the top business school in India, in 2008. Subsequently, he served as Human Resources Manager in Wipro Technologies. Since the time Prabhuji came in touch with the spiritual wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji has been using his skills to inspire and teach people on how to live a happy life. Prabhuji decided to dedicate his life for serving humanity by sharing teachings of Bhagavad Gita under the aegis of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And thus, in 2011, he became a full-time monk and a spiritual coach. His discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita in English, Hindi, and Sindhi are enlightening people across India and many parts of the world, including USA, China, Dubai, etc. He conducts various motivational seminars in prestigious universities like IITs and NITs. Apart from preaching activities, His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji is rendering many essential services like leading ISKCON India Deaf Preaching, Secretary ISKCON India Youth Council. Also, he has been serving in ISKCON Juhu as Chairman, Brahmachari Council, HR Director, Temple Council Committee member, and other leadership roles at ISKCON. So Hare Krishna Chakravarti Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving us your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Without further ado, I would like to request you to please take over from here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we can hear you now.
So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Prescribed Duties for Mankind, Chapter 9, Appearance of Demon Vritrasura. Text 53, 54, and 55. So 55 has the purport. So we will recite text 55 first. Asmin vinihate yuyam tejostrayuddha sampadaha bhuya prapasyatha bhadrambo na himsanti cha matparan tasmin vinihate yuyam tejo astrayudha sampadaha bhuya prapasyatha bhadrambo na himsanti cha matparan. Yes, anyone would like to recite? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Tasmin vinihate yuyam tejostrayud sampada bhuya prapsyatha badramvo nahim sati chamatparan. Hare Krishna.
Anyone else?
Kasmin vinehate yuyam tejo astrayud sampada bhuyah prapyascha bhadram vo nahim santi chamatparam. Hare Krishna.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When Vritrasura is killed because of my spiritual strength, you will regain your strength, weapons, and wealth. Thus, there will be all good fortune for all of you. Although Vritrasura can destroy all the three worlds, do not fear that he will harm you. He is also a devotee and will never be envious of you. Purport. A devotee of the Lord is never envious of anyone. What to speak of other devotees? As revealed later, Vritrasura was also a devotee. Therefore, he was not expected to be envious of the demigods. Indeed, of his own accord, he would try to benefit the demigods. A devotee does not hesitate to give up his own body for a better cause. Chanakya Pandit said, Sannimitte varam tyago vinashe niyate sati. After all one's material possessions, including his body, will be destroyed in due course of time. Therefore, if the body and other possessions can be utilized for a better cause, a devotee never hesitates to give up even his own body. Because Lord Vishnu wanted to save the demigods, Vritrasura, even though able to swallow the three worlds, would agree to be killed by the demigods. For a devotee, there is no difference between living and dying, because in this life, a devotee engages in devotional service, and after giving up his body, he engages in same service in the spiritual world. His devotional service is never hindered. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 6th canto, 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Appearance of the Demon Vritrasura. So we'll also read the text 53 and 54. Okay, I'll just read the translation. The Dhyancha's invincible protective covering, known as the Narayana Kavach, was given to Twasta, who delivered it to his son Vishwarupa, from whom you have received it. Because of this, Narayana Kavach, Dadichi's body is now very strong. You should therefore beg him for his body.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. We can read the words also.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you want only me to recite, or you want someone to repeat?
You can recite.
Dadyan atharvanastvastre varma bhedyam mad atmakam vishwarupaya yat pradat tvasta yatvam adhastataha. 54. Yushmabhyam yachito subhyam dharmagno angani dasyati tataster ayudha shrestho vishwakarma vinirmitaha yena vritra shiro harta matteja Brimhataha. Translation. When the Ashwini Kumaras beg for the Dhyancha's body on your behalf, he will surely give it because of affection. Do not doubt this, for the Dhyancha is very experienced in religious understanding. When the Dhyancha awards you his body, Vishwakarma will prepare a thunderbolt from his bones. This thunderbolt will certainly kill Vritrasura because it will be invested with my power. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam.
Questo brusco nel paese di Gio.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashada Deshatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So you are hearing this context from few weeks now, and Lord Krishna, he is extremely happy when he gets an opportunity to glorify his devotees, because Krishna is completely non-envious. And his devotees are completely surrendered to him. So he takes immense pleasure in glorifying his own devotees. And he has done so many times. Be it Ramayana, be it Mahabharata, be it Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of that. Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita also he quotes Janaka Maharaj. And he talks about the context, the qualities of devotees. So we can see if one is surrendered to Krishna, then Krishna is very happy and talking about that person. Similarly, the devotees are not envious of Krishna, so they take immense pleasure in glorifying Krishna. That also is mentioned in Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, and other scriptures. Also, the devotees, as they are non-envious of other devotees, so they become very happy and satisfied when they glorify other devotees. This also we find in different scriptures. So here, Lord is talking about Dadichi, Uddadyancha, same personality. And he's glorifying Dadichi. And also he's glorifying Vritrasura. And he's also glorifying the quality of Dadichi, which is selflessness. And he's glorifying the quality of Vritrasura, which is non-enviousness. Very important qualities. So these verses are being spoken by Lord Vishnu. When Vritrasura appears, he's so powerful. In 53rd, text number 53rd, he's telling, Lord is telling, how Dadichi gave this Narayana Kavash to Twasta. Twasta one was the, he became an instrument. So he gave it to his son Vishwarup. And Vishwarup, he gave this Narayana Kavach to Indra, which we have read and discussed. That's how the Narayana Kavach has come. So Narayana Kavach is not made up of some metal, it's made up of holy names. So talking about Narayana Kavach, it is holy names chanted of Lord Krishna to protect oneself. There may be different levels of consciousness of the chanter. One may chant Krishna's names to engage in some materialistic activities, karmakand, like marriage, like initiation, the sacrifices which takes place. So anything, we worship the land, we worship the cows, everything we chant Krishna's names. That's ritualistic. Then we have chanters who chant for others' benefit. So they are called Purohit. Like we read in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, in many cantos we read, but especially when Krishna appears, he comes to Gokul. And now and then Nanda Baba calls Vedic chanters. They recite Vedic mantras to bring auspiciousness for Krishna and protection. So they are called Purohits. So they are doing Parahita. Purohit means to benefit others. So they are known as Purohits. Then there are individual chanters who are chanting for seeking protection for body, seeking protection for subtle body, and seeking protection of consciousness, seeking protection of soul at different levels. Then chanters may also chant with a desire to attain some material benefits. If there is hankering, we all come in these categories. We all chant Krishna's holy name, the most powerful, which is actually to be chanted to attain Krishna Prem. But we have different desires and we are getting purified, so that's all right. It's not perfect. It's not perfection of chanting, but it's okay. We are conditioned souls. Somehow we are chanting Hare Krishna. So they are different. So Narayana Kavach is also a mantra. Like Yashoda protected all the gopis, they protected. They want to protect Krishna by chanting the names of Krishna after Putana was killed. So Narayana Kavach is basically made up of mantras. It was given by Vishwarup, who's a Brahmin, given to Indra. And then we know that because Vishwarup had some affection for his maternal uncles who are demons, so he offers some benefit to them also. And Indra came to know, so Indra chops off the head of Vishwarup. Yeah. So that's Brahma Hatya. That's Guru Hatya. So that's Brahma Hatya, and Indra had to suffer for that. He accepted the suffering, and then he divides the suffering into 4 parts. One part to women, one part to land, one part to water, and one part to trees. So he distributed, and you have read all that. Then Twasta becomes angry that you unnecessarily killed my son. So then he performs one yagya from which Vritrasura appears. And we will come to know in future, actually Vritrasura is nobody else but Chitraketu Maharaj, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Because of some misunderstanding happened between Chitraketu Maharaj and Mother Parvati curses him and he accepts, happily he accepts, okay, Mother, if you wish so, I'll become a demon. Then Vritrasura starts, his terror. As Lord Vishnu himself is saying, he has the capacity, he has the power to swallow entire 3 worlds, entire universe. So all the demigods, initially they came to fight, but they saw the power of Vritrasura. They came running to Lord Vishnu. So one thing very good which demigods have, which makes them demigods, is that whenever they face problem, even though sometimes we may see demigods have also anarthas, lust, anger, greed, envy, false ego. There are traces, but still they follow dharma. So we respect demigods because they follow dharma. We respect demigods because they are faithful servants of Lord Krishna. We don't worship them, no need of worshipping them, but we respect them. They are devotees. May not be Mahabhagat Vaishnavas or pure devotees, but they are devotees, they are engaged in Krishna's service. Srila Prabhupada says even Muslims and Christians are devotees because they are worshipping. Vandanam. They're praying. They're praying to Lord. So they are also Vaishnavas. So these demigods are directly serving Vishnu. So definitely they are much, much, much better than us. So we don't seek any material benefits, even though they have power, but we don't want to go to them and seek any material benefit. So then, so the best thing is they come to Lord himself. As Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvidha bhajante mam guna sukritino arjuna artho jigyasu artharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. Even though you are distressed, if one is distressed, 4 kinds of people come to me. The distress, one who's looking for money, wealth, or intelligent, jnani, or one who's inquisitive. So whenever we are in a situation where we have some problem, we should not I'll not say we don't, but we should not go to anyone else except Krishna. Our heart is filled with lust, anger, greed, madness, false ego, pride, envy. Still we go to Krishna. That's all right. Even if a conditioned soul who is practicing some bhakti, he has so many unlimited material desires, still one should go to Krishna. And let Krishna decide how he wants to fulfill, whether he wants to fulfill or not, rather than going to demigods. Because we are seeing the situation of demigods, they themselves are running to Lord. So why should we go to them? Doesn't make any sense. So then they come and Lord, they ask that what should we do? And the Lord gives these instructions that you go to Dadichi. You beg for him, beg his body from him. And amazing. I mean, the 10th chapter, when you will read, when actually the demigods will come to Dadichi Muni, beautiful, very beautiful verses about detachment. What is service? And this also Prabhupada writes some purport in the 55th verse. He talks about that. If someone will come to us that Prabhu or Mata, I'm being, chased by a demon and he'll kill me. He'll kill all our demigods. And only way, and you will ask, so how can I help you, Prabhu? And then, he will say, I need your bones. I need your bones. Vishwakarma will make thunderbolt from those bones, and me as Indra will kill Vritrasura. How many of us will be willing to give our bones? Is there any volunteer to give his or her bones? Asking for bones means you are telling to that person that you die. So Indra is in a way is telling to Dadichi Muni that you die because I want to live. Amazing, huh? This illusion can take us anywhere. Read those purports in the next chapter. How can someone come? Indra is coming. Obviously, Lord Vishnu has instructed, and someone will say, oh, this is desire of Lord Vishnu. I am fulfilling desire of Lord Vishnu. What is harm? If Vritrasura appears and he is trying to kill Indra, and Indra says, okay, I'll fight. And if I die, that's all right. But no, he ran away to Vishnu. Vishnu has to protect. He's our manager. He's managing so many things in my company. Okay, let me protect him. Dadichi anyways has performed devotional service. Time has come for him to go back. Come back to the spiritual world. Still, someone is telling Indra, is practically telling Dadichi that you die because I want to live. That's power of Maya. That's power of attachment. Wonderful how Indra is trying to kill Vritrasura. He is not able to kill him. Vritrasura has to preach. You will see in next chapter or next to next chapter. Vritrasura has to preach to him that kill me, because Indra lost his confidence. Indra had faith in Vishnu's words, but not completely. Vritrasura has to preach to him that Indra, my dear Indra, please pick up that thunderbolt and kill me, because it is invested by the energy of Lord Narayan. Indra had Narayana's this mantra, Narayana Kavach. He has a thunderbolt made up of Dadichi's bones invested with Narayana's power. Still Indra is fearful. That's power of illusion. That's power of attachment. We are so deeply attached to this material world. I, me, and mine. Very deeply attached. It's not going to go so easily. Anyways, Lord is telling you go, and He will agree to give you. Dadiji will agree also, but not at first instance, because he wanted to hear the glories of detachment. That you will see. I don't know what you call, it's like Hiranyakashipu preaching to Hiranyak's wife and his mother that how everything is controlled by the destiny. He's a demon. He wants to control everything. He wants to kill Vishnu. And he's talking that how everything is controlled by destiny. We are soul. We are not this body. Such a hypocrite. So Indra wants to safeguard himself, wants to protect his body, his kingdom. And when Dadichi will say no, then Indra will actually preach to him about the process of detachment, the glories of detachment. Anyways, that you will hear later. So in next text 54, he says, do not doubt for this. Look at the words. When Ashwini Kumar will beg for Dadichi's bones or body, he will give. Do not doubt this. Lord Vishnu has to tell to Indra that do not doubt my words. Krishna also speaks. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyachi mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyansi satyam te. Arjuna, do not have doubts. What I'm speaking is truth. So here Vishnu has to actually say, so we can understand that Indra is not a pure devotee. Vritrasur is a pure devotee. That is why he will not care for his life or death. He will just remember Lord and die peacefully. Indra is concerned about his life and death. And he has not complete faith also. Otherwise, why Vishnu has to tell him, do not doubt this? So not demigods, and all demigods are not pure devotees, very few. So when Dadichi awards you this body, Vishwakarma will prepare thunderbolt from his bones. And then this thunderbolt will certainly kill Vritrasura because it will be invested by my power. But still Indra, when he will want to kill Vritrasura, he actually attacks Vritrasura. So Vritrasura counterattacks. And in that counterattack, the thunderbolt which is made by Dadichi's bones, invested with Krishna's power, falls down on the ground, slips off from the hand of Indra. And then Indra loses all the confidence. And that is the time when Vritrasura is preaching. So we can see that the faith is not unflinching. You see Srila Prabhupada, his faith, unflinching faith. When he's going from Calcutta to New York for preaching in the ship, unflinching faith. He does not know where is he going. He does not have any money. He does not have any contact. I'm sure nobody would travel now from even his house to his friend's house with just $5. That time 40 rupees was equal to $5. And those $5 also were non-convertible. Going from one continent to another continent with this meager amount, who will travel? Only a pure devotee who has complete faith on Lord. They traveled. He arranged so much money to print Bhagavatam. He arranged for his ticket, he arranged for his clothes. He could have also arranged for some cash, but he did not arrange. That Lord will take care. My duty is to glorify Krishna by writing Bhagavatam and by distributing Bhagavatam. So for distribution, I need printing. So because I have to glorify Krishna, then I will work hard to get Srimad Bhagavatam printed. Because I want to go to America to serve Krishna, so for that I'll put effort. And I'll beg for a ticket from Sumati Murarji. But as far as my food is concerned or living is concerned, that's not my headache. That's Krishna's duty. That's pure devotee. So he leaves that on to Krishna. We hear recently we celebrated Sri Gaura Purnima. And we hear so many different pastimes. One of the pastime which comes is, once Lord was very tired, he ate a huge meal. And then after lunch, actually, Lord would lie down and his servant, Govinda Prabhu, he massages the feet. And Lord sleeps peacefully. So on this particular day, Lord was so tired, he slept at the door, half body inside the room, half body towards the door, blocking the way. So then Govinda Prabhu comes and he massages. Now he wants to massage the other side of body. So he's telling Lord, my dear Lord, please, shift a little bit so that I can go inside. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, do whatever you want, Govinda. If you are not comfortable, you go away from here. Don't disturb my sleep. So what does he do? He has to do something. He has to do his service to the Lord. So then he, uses his chadar. He puts the chadar over Lord's body and then he crosses. Crossing Lord's body is such an offense. That's why all these temples have this, tower-like structure. So then people will understand that Lord is below this. So you don't cross over that. That's for deities. Here, we cannot cross over Bhagavatam, we cannot cross over a Bhagavad Gita, because it's Krishna. Here is Lord himself. And Govinda Prabhu crosses. So then he massages the other side and Lord is asleep. After 45 minutes, Lord's wake up. And he sees Govinda inside. He said, why did you not go for your prasad? And Govinda Prabhu said, how can I go? You have blocked the way. I cannot go out. And Mahaprabhu asking, how did you come inside? He said, I just, used my upper cloth, covered your body and just crossed over. So Mahaprabhu said, you should have easily crossed over the same way. It's not that I have changed my size. You can easily cross over. So Govinda Prabhu says, no. For your service, I can do anything. For my own food, I cannot do this. That's a devotee. So here, we'll see You see how Prabhupada is? For his own care, food and living and shelter and clothes, he's not bothered. He's only bothered about the mission. And then in today's verse, the 55th verse, Lord says, when Vritrasura is killed because of my spiritual strength. So you remember, Indra, you better be very thoughtful of this, that it is not you who will be killing Vritrasura. I read the verse, I read the translation again. When Vritrasura is killed because of my spiritual strength. So who killed Vritrasura? Indra cannot kill. Indra is not a pure devotee. Vritrasura is pure devotee. Krishna is bound to protect a pure devotee. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. My devotees will never perish. If Lord Vishnu will not come into picture, Indra can never ever kill Vritrasura. So who killed Vritrasura? It's Lord Vishnu who orchestrated. Because he wanted Vritrasura to come back. As Chitraketu Maharaj, he was a pure devotee. He met Lord Shankarshan, prayed and everything, but some misunderstanding, some little offense. It's not actually an offense, but some misunderstanding, and then he has to take this one birth. So Lord wants now him to come back. So yesterday one devotee was asking me that, Prabhu, why did it happen that so many people died in COVID? So they had karma. Birth, old age, disease and death. It's a process. Why devotees died due to COVID? I said devotees may die due to COVID or accident or some disease or old age. They're different things. Everyone has to die. Because Krishna wants devotees to come back. And this material body does not belong to the spiritual world. It belongs to material world. So Krishna is telling, leave that body, ugly body, not fit. For spiritual world, I'll give you, altogether very different body. So just relinquish that body and come. So then the question comes, why a devotee has to go through such suffering before dying? So there is sometimes some karma is there. So if a devotee who has practiced sadhana very nicely, and he is 90% pure, and 10% is remaining, and this 10% at this speed which he is going, if 10% will take like 10 years, so then Lord Krishna does not want to wait 10 years. Then what he does, he intensifies the disease or the problems in the life of devotees. He makes it so intense. He knows which devotee can digest how much. And then he will give pain, which is apparent pain. And the 10% of purification, instead of 10 years, Krishna may do it only in 6 months. So a lot of pressure, a lot of pain. So that is why Prabhupada writes, when devotees meet reversals or problems or miseries in this material world, they pray to Krishna that it is my karma. And thank you for giving me this. Because Krishna is trying to bring us back to the spiritual world. That's the point. So, now the time has come for Vritrasura to go back to the spiritual world. And time has come for Indra to still remain in material world. And you will get, Vritrasura will be killed because of my spiritual strength, and you will regain your strength, weapon, wealth, everything. Thus, there will be all good fortune for all of you. Actually, good fortune is for Vritrasura, who's going back, and Vritrasura will tell this later. So good fortune. So what is good fortune for devotees? Or for these demigods? They have to still stay in material world. But because they are engaged in Krishna's service, that's the only good fortune one can have in material world. Only good fortune is bhakti. Because we are engaged in Krishna's service. And then he says, although Vritrasura can destroy all the three worlds, do not fear that he will harm you. He will never harm you. Why? Because he's a devotee. He's a devotee and he will never be envious of you. He's a devotee. So devotee means non-envious. Why will I want to harm someone else? Because I'm envious. There's no other reason. So that is why envy is the last trace of anartha which leaves our consciousness. If we become non-envious, that means we are pure devotees. The last thing, material thing which leaves us is envy. In Nectar of Instruction, Sri Rupa Goswami writes that who's a Kanishta Adhikari, who's Madhyama Adhikari, so he increases the faith. And then he talks about Uttama Adhikari. So for Kanishta and for Madhyama, he talks about how they have faith in Krishna, depends on that. So then he should have continued. He should have continued Uttama Bhakta, Uttama Adhikari means complete faith. No. Rupa Goswami writes, Ninda Adi Shunyam. One who does not criticizes others. He is the pure devotee. Uttama Adhikari. Why we criticize others? Because we have envy. It's only envy which will make us, hate someone else or criticize someone else. Say I'm staying in a devotee community. And then one devotee comes and he says, Prabhu, this devotee, he's so bad. He did this with me. He's such a crooked fellow. And then because I have envy, so I'll say, yes, I know. I'll add few more things. Masala. Because of envy. So Vritrasur is non-envious and he's going back home. So if anyone of us really desire to go back home, back to Godhead, you have to be non-envious. There's only qualification. Narottam Das Thakur, when he writes this bhajan, that lust can be engaged in Krishna's service. Anger can be engaged in Krishna's service. Greed can be engaged in Krishna's service. Pride can be engaged in Krishna's service. But envy, no, it has to be given up. So envy has to be given up. Then only we will become pure and will be considered for spiritual world. You go to any university, you have to fill the form. So before filling the form, you should have certain eligibility criteria to be fulfilled. Then you fill the form, then you write all those things, then university will accept the form, and then they will interview you. There's a process. So being non-envious is the eligibility to become a devotee. So what about us? Is there any hope? Yes. We continue the process of bhakti and try not to increase our anarthas. And gradually we will be purified of all the misgivings in our heart. And we'll proceed towards becoming a pure devotee, and then go back home to the spiritual world. It all starts with Mahat Sevaya. Read these 6 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.16 to 1.2.21. Beautiful 6 verses. Starts with Mahat Sevaya, ends with going back home, back to God. So we have to serve devotees. We have to serve Prabhupada, his instructions. Then gradually we will become qualified. Because that will Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains envy. He says envy is on 3 levels. Envy to Krishna, envy towards Krishna, envy towards devotees, envy towards all other living entities. So how to counteract this envy? Then he gives this 3 things. He said envy towards Krishna can be counteracted by chanting of the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. See, when we are chanting holy names, you are actually begging. If you are in a position of a beggar, how can you be envious of Krishna? We understand we are not equal to Krishna. So that gradually will go away. Second, envy to devotees. So by serving devotees, Vaishnava Seva, Name Ruchi, now Vaishnava Seva. By serving devotees, envy, if I am envious of certain devotee, I must serve him. If I am interested in going back to Krishna, I must serve that devotee. By serving that devotee, envy will go away. Otherwise, next life. And envy towards general public or all other living entities, we have to do daya, jive daya. We have to preach. By preaching to them, we will understand they are actually in a painful situation. Even though they have such a big house, big factory, big luxurious car, so much of money, so much of wealth, but they're miserable. So we should preach, develop compassion. So these 3 things, Name Ruchi, Vaishnava Seva, Jive Daya, that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. So preach. First of all is serve devotees. It will purify your heart, help you to chant Hare Krishna mantra. You chant Hare Krishna mantra, your heart will become softer and you will develop the natural compassion which a living entity has, and then you will preach. This all will go and flow, and then you will go back home, completely free from envy. So this is what Prabhupada is talking. Hare Krishna. So we stop here. If any devotee has any comments, any question, they can speak.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. And thank you for giving us so much hope that by chanting the holy names, even our hearts will be purified. Dear devotees, I'd like to kindly request you, if you have any questions or reflections or realizations, please go ahead and share them now. I think you can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, so there's no question, no comment, so we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Lalita.
Hare Krishna. ललितांगी माताजी को
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Always your classes are so nice, to the point, and your realizations are very, very wonderful. Practically, you can apply. So Prabhuji, now we are dealing with so many in a devotee community. Not everyone is free from envy. So in that condition, when there is somebody coming and telling us that, okay, this devotee is doing like this, or we perceive that somebody is doing out of enviousness. We perceive that because we are envious. I understand that. So how to make progress and not get into this, quagmire of world, quicksand of, he did this, so I did this to him, or, I mean, it's, please enlighten us on that.
So when we practice devotional service, chanting, serving, reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll develop that knowledge. Very basic philosophy, 3rd chapter Bhagavad Gita, karma philosophy. If anything which I do not desire and that is happening to me, I say it's life is miserable. And whoever becomes instrument, I consider them as my enemies. But if I am understanding, if my understanding of the karma theory given in Bhagavad Gita is clear, I'll understand that it is actually my own karma. The result is coming back. Whether this devotee or that devotee or a non-devotee, they only are becoming instruments. That's mode of goodness. So we have to try to remain in mode of goodness. So we understand that, it's not actually someone else who is trying to hurt me. Even though sometimes it may appear that someone is becoming revengeful towards me, but that also is my karma. It appears that Vritrasura is angry with demigods and he wants to kill them. But it's not like that. He does not want to kill them. It only appears. And it appears that Indra is going to Vishnu to seek help and wants to kill Vritrasura. He does not want to kill Vritrasura. He's just trying to make his life comfortable. So Vritrasura is pure devotee. He's not doing anything. So similarly, all the devotees, around us, we may have different perception towards different devotees or about different devotees. But they are just playing their role because they themselves are conditioned souls. If I am controlled by 3 modes of material nature, the other devotee who is interacting with me, the interaction may not be so sweet or not favorable, but that devotee is also conditioned by 3 modes of material nature. So who's the driving force? It's 3 modes of material nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gunay karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. That devotee is not doing his conditioned soul. Bhagavad Gita speaks so much about this philosophy. In Bhagavad Gita 5.15, purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the soul cannot even desire. Soul only has capacity to desire. The rest all is done by Krishna through the different agencies. In 13th chapter, again Krishna speaks. So that is why I read Bhagavad Gita again and again and again and again and again. When we understand this knowledge by mercy of Krishna, then we'll realize, oh, the devotee who's trying to harm me, actually he does not want to harm me. It is the mode which is acting through him to give me more remembrance of Krishna. So there are so many influences. There are modes, there are planetary systems, there is my own, there's my own karma, the results, so many things they influence. If I have done something wrong, see, it's simple. If you go to a restaurant, you are a devotee, you don't go to a restaurant, but you go to Govindas in your city. So you go to restaurants. You eat whatever you want to eat. And then after that, what will happen? The manager will send the bill. He'll not come with the bill. He'll send the bill. He'll see your order. He'll create a bill. He'll send the bill through some other agency called waiter or steward. So if steward is bringing bill, he's not an enemy. He's giving you back what you deserve. Now, suppose you have, this disease called dementia, short-term memory loss. So if I have dementia, I ate with my family, I ate food. And then I washed my hands and I'm sitting and memory loss. I forgot. Now the steward brings the bill. I said, Prabhuji, your bill. Then I become angry. What bill? I have not done anything. I have not eaten anything. What kind of bill you are bringing? You're trying to cheat me? Now everyone knows that I have eaten and I have to pay the bill, but I have forgotten. So similarly, I have done so many things in my previous lives, but I have forgotten. Krishna is not forgotten. Maya is not forgotten. The modes of materials are not forgotten. So they are just giving me bill. Okay, I say, okay, I would have eaten. Okay, if you say so, then I'll pay the bill. Then I see, okay, a plate of rice, a plate of paneer sabji, some paratha, some puris, some sweet, some juices. Then I see something is written, okay, 2 pack mineral water bottles. Okay, then something else is written. 2 glasses. What glass? I do not eat glass. I'm sure I've not eaten glass. Even if I've forgotten, I've not eaten glass. I mean, I cannot eat glass. I'm a human being. No, Prabhuji, you broke 2 glasses. So you will have to pay for that. So he's just bringing the bill. Why should I become angry on him? But because I am, under the modes of material nature, I'm the patient of dementia. I become angry on him. That's the problem. So this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita will actually give us this understanding and remembrance. Oh, it's actually I have done wrong. That's why the bill is coming to me. You have to pay the bill. If you park your vehicle at wrong place, the bill comes to you. Then, so when we have understanding, not theoretical understanding. Even for me, it's very theoretical understanding. I need to still realize. My practice of devotional says we have to become realized souls. When I'm realized, that does not mean I'm pure. Realized soul means I know why am I suffering. That's all. I know I'm a soul, completely spiritual, belong to Krishna, but right now I'm suffering because of so and so reason. So if I have to accept this suffering, I must accept this suffering very respectfully and do not create a scene. You don't create a scene while paying the bill. No, you just respectfully pay the bill and walk out. So if I pay the bill of whatever nonsense I've done in so many lifetimes, I can just walk out of this material world and go back to Krishna. But I have to pay the bill. Don't create a scene. Very respectfully pay the bill. If you think anyone is harming you, respectfully accept it. Okay, Prabhu. If anyone you hear criticizing you, accept it. Hare Krishna.
Such a wonderful, fantastic example, and I have to hear it again and again. And thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nowadays, the examples which I gave generally, it's what's happening in my life. So for the past few months, I've been given service to manage Govindas, and recently we opened a new branch of Govindas. So I'm seeing steward bringing the bill. That's how this all examples come up. We have to be very observant. Srila Prabhupada was so observant. What's happening in the material world and connect those with philosophy. That's how you get realizations. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth-raj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Okay,
Thank you,
I have paid
Prabhuji.
my bill.
Class. Prabhuji, there is a question in the chat box. Can I read?
Okay. I was saying I have paid my bill for 1 hour class. Now can I just go out?
We are not leaving you, Prabhu. Okay, the question is Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sometimes many devotees say going Goloka is not their goal, but their goal is in serving Vaishnavas. What to say?
They both are same. What's the difference? What will you do after going to Goloka? You'll serve Vaishnavas. So some devotee says, okay, I'll go to Goloka, serve Vaishnavas. Some devotee may say, I'll serve here. Ultimate service has to happen.
Yeah.
It is not going to Goloka. It should be Goloka consciousness. That's more important. If I develop that pure consciousness in this material world, Lord Shiva, you will see. When Parikshit Maharaj will ask to Shukdev Goswami, my dear master, how come such an exalted Vritrasura is a demon and he is praying to Vishnu as if he's a pure devotee? Then Shukdev Goswami will narrate who's Chitraketu Maharaj, why he was cursed. So when Mother Parvati curses Chitraketu, Lord Shiva smiles and he says, see, oh Devi, look at the devotees of Krishna. They're so pure, so unattached. Whether they are going to Vaikuntha or they are going to Swargaloka or they are going to even the hellish planets, they don't get affected. So whether you go to Goloka or not, serving is common factor. It is the intrinsic feature of a soul to serve Krishna and Krishna's associates who are devotees. So both are same. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So if no one has any question or comments, we can end the class now. Please pure obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa
कृपा
patitam
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. His Grace Chakravarti Prabhu ji ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji for wonderful class and examples.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.